one is that let us see full implementation of the recommendations of Ayawaso West Wogon Commission of Inquiry. We want to see prosecution initiated in respect of the illegal printing and handling of several, about 1 million extra ballot papers. We have not heard anything about it. We want action on it now. Otherwise, the next election, the same people can go and now print more than 2 million. The Electoral Commission has not been open to us. We suspect that the equipment is not missing, and they are being hidden for some unwholesome agenda. We have our confidence in the IT systems at the Electoral Commission has been shaken. And we want, point number 5, the president to declare openly on a state platform, not on his political party platform, that he will respect the will of the people as expressed by the outcome of the 2024 December election results. Finally, before any such document, peace pact is submitted to us for signature, we want to see the IGP signing to that document. We want to see the Chief Justice signing to that document. We want to see the Attorney General signing to that document. And we want to see the National Security Coordinator signing to that document. If all of them sign, and the monitoring group commits itself to the policy of naming and shaming publicly anybody who reneges on his obligation as far as implementation of the electoral laws of this country are concerned, we think that we will have the way forward.
We would have to negotiate them. That is how we started. We'll be with the MPP. We are hoping that in the next few days we are going to engage with the New Patriotic Party as well as other key actors in the field, and we are hopeful that we'll be able to surmount any challenges that we have. It is in our interest so to do to assure not only this generation, but those who will follow us that we did the right thing when the matters was most the matter was most needed. I think we will rise up to the occasion. The board and the committee that have been set up would look into these issues and respond to them timeously.
Just clarifying, your plan is to negotiate with the NDC around these 6 conditions.
Yes, you have to negotiate. It's a position that they have given. Negotiation means that you would have to discuss. We may not be able to meet all the requirements, but if that is the essence of mediation.
So, Minister Hussaini, you, the NDC and the NPP, like the Afrobarometer suggests to us, why people have a certain mistrust in the democracy. The two of you, when you are in power, everything the EC does is good. Everything the Peace Council does is good. When you are not in power, it's like they become the devil. Why all these conditions to sign a peace pact to promote peaceful elections and to agree to accept results and all of that? Ayawaso West will go on by election, and a short commission or committee recommendations must be, fully implemented. There must be prosecution of the, 2020 election violence perpetrators where 8 people were killed. Ballot paper irregularities, investigation of missing EC equipment, Akufo-Addo to commit to prosecuting election offences, respecting the outcome of the election, and then you want the Attorney General, the President first, the Attorney General, the IGP, the Chief Justice, and National Security Coordinator to sign onto this peace pact. Why?
Thompson, thank you so very much. This is a very important topic, and as a student of politics and democracy, I'll try to be as objective as possible. You told me, and all your viewers this morning, that democracy is receding in Ghana. That as much as 23% of the people of Ghana do not believe in our democracy. And that represents a veritable threat.
Because of what you guys make of it.
That represents, that's what I'm saying, I have to be, as a student.
Yeah, go ahead.
That represents a veritable threat to our democracy. And anybody who has lived under a democratic regime will not want to live under any other regime. And so we must be worried. Now, democracy thrives when there is citizen participation. The political parties are citizens of this country. The officers of the political parties are citizens of this country. So, and democracy is consolidated when institutions established by the state operate in an honest, transparent, and open manner. Then you can now repose, or if you want, invest confidence in those institutions, because you will know that they will be fair, impartial. Now, apart from the right to life, in my view, the right to exercise a choice is so fundamental that it should not be restricted. And all of us know, including the current president, that vigilantism has represented a threat to our thriving democracy. And so that is why attempts have been made in the past to deal with vigilantism. When vigilantism or violence is perpetuated by state apparatus, then it becomes more worrying. Now, democracy and peace is built on justice. Justice. And justice is secured on the wings of accountability. It is not for nothing that our motto is freedom and justice. Freedom to act within the confines of the law and to have justice when you are wronged. Now, which of these 6 requirements, if we say that we are investing in the peace of this country, tell me, which of these 6 requirements is difficult to fulfill?
1, Ayawa's Wogon report.
Yes.
What is left? There was a white paper where you have a disagreement. Is partly Brian Champon, who the report said ought to be reprimanded.
Yes.
The government issued a white paper. And you know what the law says?
Yes.
The government did not accept everything. The guy who was to be prosecuted for assault of St. George, for slapping him, the government said that was provocation. So they disagree with, I still can't wrap my mind around that, my head around that issue. That you have eminent persons, respected persons like Emil Francis Short, Professor Henrietta Mensah-Bonsu, and Kwating, the former IGP. They come with a recommendation, and the white paper cherry picks and tells them, go to hell with this.
I know where you were going.
But here is the point. The point of law is that the white paper did not accept everything. It did not accept that Brian Champon should be reprimanded. So what is this thing about it should be implemented in full?
What white paper are you talking about? Is that what the Constitution requires?
Yes.
That you cherry pick. When there's issue a white paper, you can cherry pick. Is that what the Constitution
That's what we know.
That's what you know, but is that what the Constitution says? The Constitution doesn't give the president the power to cherry pick. In establishing the committee of inquiry or commission of inquiry, did the president use his pocket money? The Constitution doesn't give him that power. And again, that is how impunity thrives. I tell you today on your set.
But government from time immemorial.
Repeating mistakes has never been experienced. As a lawyer, if you are always repeating mistakes in court, that doesn't make you an experienced lawyer. So even though governments have been doing that, it doesn't make it right. And what the chairman of the NDC and Asedun Katia is saying is that let's right the wrongs. How is that difficult?
How are you going to get such a demand? There's a white paper that says, I don't agree with everything the commission said. So it is only those we agree with,
including
we accept,
including
that
giving security
uniform,
Azogo giving security uniform to people sitting in a circle to go and visit violence on individuals who are exercising their rights under the Constitution to determine who represents them in Parliament. You think that that's good for our democracy? You don't think that that also has a bearing?
The white paper forecloses the other issues we want to really litigate.
The white paper forecloses the other issues and makes our democracy a threat. You don't see the link? You don't see the link. You don't see that what happened in Ayawaso was a foreplay of what was going to happen in the 2020 elections. You don't see it. You don't see that the 8 people who were murdered for no just reason will have their family not interested in our democracy.
Talk about the 8 people. The Ayawaso report. The white paper said those instances where there was supposed to be prosecution that the government accepted, it referred to the Criminal Investigations Department, police. It's their job. In the 2020 elections, people were killed. It is the job of the police. So who are you making this demand from?
The Peace Council. Because when I was in Parliament and we were establishing the Peace Council, we said we needed people with integrity. We needed people with moral turpitude. We said we needed people who were not manifestly political. Because as an institution, they have to pursue peace and ensure that Ghana is peaceful always.
What should they do?
So, if they have referrals to the police, the Peace Council cannot say, because the referrals are to the police, we have nothing to do with it. They have the duty, as a Peace Council, to take the issues and get to the police and see what they're doing about those issues. They have that duty. And is it too much? If you're going to elections and you have your registered population of voters, and then you can only print 10% additional of the votes, and you have 1 million extra votes printed illegally, who directed the printing of the 1 million votes? Who directed that? You need to know. Will it be repeated? Impunity is what disturbs our democracy. And so let's begin to hold people accountable. That's what the General Secretary is saying. And the chairman of the party is saying. And I don't think that is too much. Peace is built on the foundation of justice. Without that, you can't have peace. You remember growing up, we used to sing Peter Tosh's song. People talk about peace, but he talks about equal rights and what? And justice. Because that is the foundation on which peace is built. I mean, the
EC equipment
BVD,
missing issue. It is in the court, is it not?
He says
the criminal process is there.
He's not saying that EC just to bring the BVDs. He didn't say that.
So investigate it.
Investigate it. Honest, transparent, public.
Okay.
Let us investigate it so that everybody will understand what has happened. He didn't say prosecute people. He said investigate it through an honest, transparent platform. So all of us know.
As Akufo-Addo said anywhere that he will not respect the elections outcome, like maybe Trump has said elsewhere.
Statements which no president has made in this country. I'm going to hand over to Bawumia. He has no that authority.
It's a wish he made. He didn't say, I will not hand over if an opposition person wins.
So he says he's going to hand over to Bawumia. that his people should work to hand over. So that's emboldened.
It's been clear that it's a wish he had.
So that's emboldened people like Brian Champon to make those weird statements. Okay, because he's the president.
All governing parties make that wish that they will hand over to somebody that springs out of them.
Oh, that's a wish. They were saying that as the father of the nation, the president should simply assure us that he will respect the outcome of the elections.
Does he have an option, do you think, in our democratic
I know he has no option.
what we have come to?
I agree with you.
Akufo-Addo has an option to say, but if Alan wins or Kofi Krantin gets on the ballot, he wins, and maybe NDC wins, Akufo-Addo can say, I won't hand over.
Samson, you don't need to believe it. I agree with you. He has no option.
So why is that a demand?
It's a path, mere path. He can't even do anything. I agree with you. He's already a lame duck president. I agree with you. But he's the father of the nation, for God's sake. His statements should be uniting this country. If for nothing at all, it's a legacy he can leave. That he left a united country.
And the request on the Peace Council to make sure that the president is also signing, the Attorney General is signing, IGP.
No, not the president. We have not said the president. We haven't said the president.
You said the president.
No, we said the president must make a public declaration to respect the outcome of the
No, he has asked that the president should sign it, the AG should sign it. IGP,
no, after seven. He says Chief Justice, AG, IGP, and National Security Coordinator. That's what he said. He didn't say the president. He said CJ. Hey, you know CJ.
Please play me that Essie Dunketia video back. The very first part. Play it back to me quickly.
Condition number 1 is that let us see full implementation of the recommendations of Ayawaso West, Wogon, Commission of Inquiry. We want to see prosecution initiated in respect of the illegal printing and handling of several, about 1 million extra ballot papers. We have not heard anything about it. We want action on it now. Otherwise, the next election, the same people can go and now print more than 2 million. The Electoral Commission has not been open to us. We suspect that the equipment is not missing. And they are being hidden for some unwholesome agenda. We have our confidence in the IT systems at the Electoral Commission has been shaken. And we want, point number 5, the president to declare openly on a state platform, not on his political party platform, that he will respect the will of the people as expressed by the outcome of the 2024 December election results. Finally, before any such document, Peace Pact is submitted to us for signature, we want to see the IGP signing to that document. We want to see the Chief Justice signing to that document.
All right.
That's what we want.
Okay, so the president is out.
No, the president is out.
Why must it change now? It has always been signed by you, the parties, and so on. Why now?
You don't want improvement. If you are doing something and some other thing can improve what you have been doing, you don't want it. The whole country and system is built on.
What's the purpose? What's the purpose?
First of all, IGP is the police. He deploys the police. He's responsible for security. He signs on it. He knows that he has a commitment to ensure that there's peace. And any of his officers who goes contrary to what he has signed to, he will deal with that person.
But they already are bound by the laws of Ghana and their operations.
The laws of Ghana.
If they go wrong, they'll be dealt with.
The laws of Ghana frown upon offenses, election-related offenses. Don't we see them? And you know why we want the IGP to sign? In the political party's law, if you are going to prosecute for an electoral offense, you need the consent of the AG. You need it.
That's why you need the AG to also sign.
Sign. You need a consent. So he signs and says, look.
I've never understood why you, the politicians, you put that there in the law.
I've also never
the police cannot prosecute election offenses unless they have the consent in writing of the Attorney General.
So you see why we say
you guys deliberately.
You see why we say it should go.
But in the absence,
we are not in government. In the absence of
my private members are not proposing bills in this administration
of any amendment to the law. IGP, commit yourself.
Chief Justice.
The courts. Make sure that when those things come, you know that you have a commitment to ensure that the peace of the country is maintained.
They don't need that for that commitment.
We need it for the abundance of what?
Caution.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's abundant.
I'll be right back. You're welcome back. And Newsfile is brought to you by Bank of Africa, as strong as a group and close as a partner, MTN everywhere you go. Ashesi University, educating ethical and entrepreneurial leaders for Africa. Robert & Sons Optical Services, your comprehensive eye care service provider for 33 plus years. My Way Insurance, dial *165# on MTN to join My Way today. DBS International, where every child, DPS International, where every child shines. And on the law tomorrow at 2 p.m., join me because Dennis Law, there's a massive marriage seminar on legal issues that is coming up in the ensuing week. And we're trying to get a bit into it even before they start. Are you sure you are married? My guest will be Justice Alexander Osei-Tutu, Justice of the Superior Court of Ghana, Dr. Justice Shramsai, and then Dennis J. Jumo. Are you sure you are married? Join me tomorrow, 2 p.m. on The Law. That's your legal light, and that is your help law. And my outfits, always on the show, is by Konati Clothing. You can reach them 0244 67 67 32. 0244 67 67 32. Thank you very much. Now, this is a subject that Colonel Festus Abuaji writes on, and he says that there's a need to prioritize, to move from the prioritization of appearances over meaningful action. There is a weak monitoring and implementation mechanism of the peace pact, and that is not good enough. Meanwhile, the peace pact, he says, has contributed to Ghana's relatively peaceful elections compared to other countries in the region. Violence still occurs, but we still must do it. The pact has sometimes reduced violence, contributed to political stability, and fostered dialogue among the party. However, it has not been universally effective in eliminating electoral violence. It has to be transformed from the peace pact, from a symbolic gesture into a substantive commitment to democratic integrity. Now, Ajapa Mesa, there are also a going thing. There are aspects that remain unimplemented. Some, it is government that has to do them. Compensation. Why are they not paid up till now?
Well, I don't have the details, okay, about what has and what has not been implemented. But that said, I don't think that making it a condition for signing the 2024 one is the way to go. Because in that case, then it reduces the issue to the usual banter between MPP and NDC.
It is signed. Violence come up. They are not punished. The 2020 elections, 20 people killed.
I was going to deal with that. That then it reduces it to the usual MPP, NDC banter of equalization. Okay, where people also make references to previous elections and violence that were associated with those elections that have till date remained unresolved. Okay. I think that it's good to raise the issues, express your reservations, but because of the important role that this peace pact plays in, like Dr. Festus Abuaji said, go ahead to execute it. Okay, but to make it a condition clearly is heightening political tension. which, as far as I'm concerned, is needless.
He says bring in the judiciary, let them sign. If the judiciary signs, they can commit to what Kanafesu Abuaji says, establishment of a specialized electoral court to swiftly and fairly adjudicate election-related disputes.
The judiciary will so to prosecute their cases if in the unlikely event or in the event that they occur. What role does the Chief Justice play? I feel to say the National Security Coordinator will do that. Okay, yes, of course, the police, like you said, they are enjoined by law to prosecute offenses, including electoral violence. Surprising to me, I haven't seen the provision on the need.
Is there
no,
section,
I'm not doubting you.
Section 4041, I think. Yes, of the Representation of the People Act.
But if it's something that has been problematic all these years, I'm surprised we haven't taken steps to repeal it or amend the law to reflect the need for, to take away that requirement. Our friends in opposition are proffering all sorts of private members' bill. And so there's a remedy that is available through Parliament if you are minded that that provision be taken out, rather than asking, after all, the Attorney General, this doesn't take away the power of the Attorney General for nolli prosequi, right?
No.
Yes, so really asking the Attorney General to sign, to make it look as if he's signing would then compel him to prosecute matters.
Okay, so it's actually Section 42. No person shall be prosecuted for an offense under this law without the consent in writing of the Attorney General, except that this section shall not prevent a person being charged with such an offense,
and this was
arrested with or without warrant in respect of the offense, or remanded, so the police can arrest, do all the things they are.
It's a 1992 legislation.
It's a PNDC law.
No. Yeah.
1992.
1992 legislation.
Yeah.
So I agree that we need to take some steps to, as it were, amend it. But he says that we are in government. But you are making it a condition. I'm saying that in this fourth Republican dispensation, especially in this 8th Parliament, started in the 7th, a lot of public members' bills have been
private members' bills.
Private members' bill have been accepted by the Speaker.
Okay.
But otherwise, then our friends are just preparing the ground for an imminent loss.
No.
Okay.
And
Kofi?
And an excuse for them to create meaning.
What do you say about the demands?
Then go ahead and sign it.
Well, a couple of things. When you sit and you listen to the NDC make demands, and you hear the response from our brothers and sisters on the other side, the MPP, it's a confirmation that government has failed. And the reason why that's a confirmation is because I'm actually surprised by the NDC's demands, and talking about our senior brother, Mr. Hussaini, talk about, it has to be, human. What do you say? It's a human. It's a violation of human rights. And Mahama and the NDC were the same people who told us they were going to implement ROPA. You remember? September 2014 in Worcester, USA. Mahama came and said he was going to. Well, you guys forgot you were infringing on people's human rights then. It wasn't an issue then, right? Now all of a sudden it's an issue.
To implement ROPA can never be an infringement of human rights.
No, don't let him take your time. You have just a minute.
Okay, so it's a violation.
The rights.
No, you're not. So it's just like you said, Samson. Yeah. When they are in power, they see from a different perspective. All of a sudden, their realities change, and this is why we want to come in. Kofi Kranting wants to come in to set the agenda right for the entire Ghanaians, and not just for MPP, NDC to be pointing fingers, because it doesn't help anything. There is a problem with the way governance is offered to the rest of Ghanaians based on just the demands of the NDC. Something is definitely wrong if you are going into an election and you want the AG to sign, you want the IGP to sign, you want, what is this? It's like we're going to war or something in Iraq.
Dr. John Osakapon, what do you say in some 30 seconds? Is it not a fair demand that We sign it all the time, but the breaches go on and there are no punishment, there are no sanctions. So there's no point signing it anyway.
But, you know, politics also has its rituals. And sometimes these symbols also matter in the way we conduct ourselves. For me, my only caution to the NDC is that I don't want them to put themselves into a situation where they become vulnerable to political attack, quote unquote, political attacks that they are not for a peaceful election. That's my only worry. And so I hope they can balance the sensitivity.
Well, one of the independent presidential hopefuls is sending me a message. He's saying that if Ayawaso had happened whilst NDC was in government and the Techiman brutalities had happened while the NDC was in government, you can expect that the NPP will make these demands.
Likely, but we can't deal in counterfactuals, right? My only point is that I just hope that the NDC would balance its insistence on meeting these conditions before signing the peace pact with some of the potential political realities that
I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful, Dr. John Osai Kwapong of the CDD in Yusuf Husseini, Andrew Ejapamesa, and Kofi Koranting. Coming up, we have your star-studded team of the best political team on TV and on radio, leading you through the NDC's manifesto launch. So wait for Winston Amwa, Evans Mensah, and the host of the team here. I'm Samson Ladia Yanini. This has been Newsfile. Have a good afternoon.